Skaya believes Alexandra Trusova's decision to resume her career under Terry Tutberidze was the right one. News has surfaced that Alexandra Ignatova has decided to resume her career under Terry Tutberidze. What is her current form? Sasha prepared for the show with us for 4 years at the academy, and for the test skates 2 years ago. She got back into shape after giving birth and rebuilt all her triples with the team and Evgeny Plashenko. We have a great relationship. Sasha is a great professional and a great athlete. She jumped triples at all our shows, and I never cease to admire her physique. How do you react to the fact that she might return to Tutberidze? If she's truly decided to return to the sport with the same team that won her an Olympic silver medal, why not? Will it be difficult for her to return after giving birth? A return is a huge responsibility, not only for Sasha, but also for the team. She'll have to give up all the shows and activities this season. Sport should be the only thing left in her life. If we're talking about a serious return to the level Sasha was at, do you believe Alexandra will be able to make a successful comeback? If she does, she'll be the first woman to do so after such a long break. And it will be legendary. If Sasha does indeed resume her career under Tutberidze's guidance, how do you feel about this decision? If Sasha has decided to return to sport, then resuming her career under the guidance of Terry Tutberidze's coaching staff is the only right decision. Our coaching staff is currently focused on our athletes. We have a great many talented youngsters to work with. Seniors, juniors, and newcomers. We have great faith in our juniors, and we also want to focus on the Kostornia-Kanitsa pair and support them in their desire to return. Said Rukaskaya. Figure skater Alexandra Trusova will be able to compete in the Grand Prix series if she receives clearance from the International Skating Union, ISU. This was announced by ISU Honorary Vice President Alexander Lakarnik. Athletes who finished in the top 6 at their last World Championships can expect to compete in 2 ISU Grand Prix events within 10 years of resuming their careers. Trusova is the bronze medalist at the 2021 World Championships. There's a rule for returns. People who have achieved high results have the right to do so. And it's being enforced. Lakarnik said. Bestimayanova. I don't expect anything from Trusova. There's much more interest in Valieva. Olympic champion Natalia Bestimayanova believes there's more interest in Kamila Valieva's return than in Alexandra Trusova's. Trusova is a young girl. Why shouldn't she return to the sport? I don't expect anything from her at all. It will be interesting to see her come back. When Trusova gets back on the ice and shows what she can do, then we'll be able to talk about it. Sasha isn't the first girl to return after giving birth. I don't think it will be a problem for her. In any case, she has a nanny. The returns of Trusova and Valieva shouldn't be compared. They are different girls and people. For Kamila, this return is important and vital, but for Sasha, it's different. She's already been back. She went out, it didn't work out, so she left. There's much more interest in Valieva than in Trusova right now, simply exponentially so there's no need to lump them together. But with them, interest in our women's singles competitions will still increase. Bestimayanova said. World Junior Champion Kamila Valieva literally stunned figure skating fans with unexpected news. She officially announced her return to the sport this month. While everyone was speculating that she needed to prepare for next season, and some were downright skeptical of the whole idea, the skater chose one of the most risky options. Participating in the upcoming Russian Jumping Championships. The press service of the Russian Figure Skating Federation, FFKKR, has already announced that the 2026 Russian Jumping Championships will be held in Moscow at Navka Arena. The competition will take place over 2 days. January 31 and February 1. Interestingly, the St. Petersburg Figure Skating Championships, which annually feature leading national team skaters representing the city, were originally scheduled for these same dates. Furthermore, the Russian Junior Championships will be held in Saransk from February 4 to 8. And on the 9th, the 2026 Olympic Games in Milan will begin. It seems Kamila is determined to steal the show with her appearance and ensure that the tournament in her home arena will be the center of attention for not only Russian, but also international spectators. Tatyana Navka, whose school the skater has been training at since this season, first announced the girl's intentions to return. While the Olympic ice dancing champion's brief reply could have been dismissed as a casual slip of the tongue, the fact that Valieva's official fan group published the following post cannot be discounted. It seems like a dream, but pinch yourself, it's really happening. We are opening registration for our support section for Kamila at the Russian Jumping Championships. We want to create the most active, energized atmosphere in the section. Together with Kamila and the Kamabits. Soon after, Valieva herself posted on her social media page, announcing her return to professional sport. She plans to compete in the Russian Jumping Championships, and then at the Channel 1 Cup, which will be held from March 18 to 23. However, her coach, Svetlana Sokolovskaya, has already announced that, according to the regulations, the Russian Figure Skating Federation, FFKKR, must grant her personal clearance for the competition. The team is currently awaiting their decision. Friends, I have news for you, I'm returning to the big ice. Of course, I'm very excited, but I'm even more looking forward to feeling the competitive thrill again at the Russian Jumping Championships. And I'll be debuting one of my new programs at the Channel 1 Cup. It will be a special occasion for me. I want to invite you to join me on this journey, as your love and support have been my most powerful source of motivation. Therefore, with immense gratitude and love, I am launching a special project with Dobrafin. We're looking forward to live meetups in various cities, where I'll be able to chat with you and give master classes to everyone. We'll be preparing lots of exclusive photos and videos about my training, which you'll see from the sidelines, and we'll be holding contests and promotions. Let's prove together that kindness, support, and love for your craft always pay off. In fact, for her first competition after a long break, Kamila has chosen perhaps one of the riskiest options. What she's always been known for, good skating, incredible flexibility, fast spins, and generally a second-place finish, will not be on display here. Only jumps will be judged. And for a figure skater who only officially began training at the end of October, this could be an incredibly difficult task. Especially since she'll be competing against young stars. Adelia Petrosyna Terry Tutberidze's group should be in the final stretch of her Olympic preparations, but Russian vice-champion Alisa Voglazova will be eager to show off her stunning quadruple Lutz and toe loop. National bronze medalist Maria Zakharova will also perform beautiful quadruple toe loops. Daria Sikova will also be aiming for the same goal. And Dina Kisnatinova will be showcasing triple axels. Well, who can Kamila compete with? Meanwhile, RIA Novosti Sport carefully reports that Valieva has some tricks up her sleeve. The 19-year-old athlete is already hard at work preparing a quadruple toe loop. She also has plans to restore her triple axel. However, it's unclear how much of this performance the skater will be able to deliver at the jumping competition, scheduled in just 2 weeks. It's also unclear whether she'll even want to compete in them or keep it as a developmental skill for further development. However, it's highly likely that Valieva won't be afraid to take the risk, as she's not aiming for absolute victory. Having disappeared from the sport for several years, she clearly understands that the landscape has changed significantly. And at the competition, where technique is the primary focus, climbing to the top thanks to the judges' loyalty and years of experience will be quite difficult. Kamila most likely just wants to start skating seriously as soon as possible. And such an event, participating in an official competition with all the top athletes, in front of a full house, with standing ovations and applause, could be the best impetus for Valieva to further regain her form, and fully return to the world of figure skating. Irina Rudnina. The Olympics will be much more interesting for me than Valieva's return. State Duma Deputy Irina Rudnina is unimpressed by Kamila Valieva's return to competition. Valieva will compete at the Channel 1 Cup. That's wonderful, but there's no need to applaud. Competing is her job. I'm not feeling any emotions about Kamila's return yet, but I want to see how it goes. For the most part, the last time we saw Valieva was several years ago. Any shows she skated in since then are just a bomb for a sick person. I haven't heard anything about her training either. I've never been there myself. Once the competition starts, everything will become clear. Why spoil the suspense ahead of time? I can say now that the Olympics will be much more interesting for me than Valieva's return. Secondly, the journalists themselves have inflamed the situation to such a level. It would be a real shame if Kamila ultimately doesn't live up to the public's expectations, Rudnina said.